which is fine. That happens sometimes. We trusted our source a little too much. All right.
This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How are we doing today on a Monday? Happy Monday. We are back live in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. It's the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, BamaCentral Facebook page. You're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral. We had a really, really fun 3-week stretch of postseason play, but we are done with that. Alabama has been eliminated by the Michigan Wolverines, 90-77, up there in the United Center. We were up there. You could have followed all the coverage. You can still read all the coverage at BamaCentral.com. We are going to talk about Alabama being eliminated by Michigan. We're going to talk about the the after season effects, who might be coming back, who's returning, what's going to happen with the roster. Was the season a success? All kinds of basketball wrap up this morning, and we will transition into baseball, as baseball is on a heater, on a white hot heater. Another SEC series sweep this weekend, this time over the Auburn Tigers. So Theo was all over that this weekend. So we'll hear his perspective on the baseball team, if they are actually turning around, or if it's just a fluke run of play for the team. So we'll hear about that also, and take some voicemails. We got some voicemails at 205-462-7340, extension 800. So we're going to have a lot of fun today on the program. You can find us at BamaCentral, at Joe Gaither 6, at Theo Fernandez _. The program is brought to you by Purple Turtle Roofing. Visit roofturtle.com for all of your roofing needs. You can check them out right there online at roofturtle.com, or call them at 877-787-6635 today for all of your roofing needs in the Alabama area, in the West Alabama area, the whole state of Alabama. They can come take care of you, giving you a free roof inspection, making sure you've got the peace of mind that you deserve. It's roofturtle.com. Theo, I missed you this morning, or this weekend. We traveled without you this weekend, so I left you at home. Good to see you. You're looking good. You're looking refreshed. How are you? How's the weekend?
Yeah, refreshed is a good way to put it, and it was a hard not to be refreshed after watching that incredible series that was played at Sewell Thomas Stadium. First of all, just such high-level baseball, where regardless of the results, you just felt great watching some extremely entertaining sports being played, right? Especially after the Friday night basketball game, and then capping the weekend off, getting to watch one of the best tournament games I can remember ever seeing in Duke, UConn. Like, it was just a nice, peaceful weekend. I'm back and at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great weekend. We drove back Saturday, and I got back just in time for the Elite Eight, matchups. All four of the Elite Eight matchups were really, really fun to watch. Not all of them super close like Duke UConn, but they were all super fun to watch. Let's go back around though, because we want to focus on the Sweet 16, and I want to open up by saying that we missed it. We missed it on Friday's show, talking about Aiden Holloway. Both Theo and I were pretty convinced in the camp that Aiden Holloway was traveling up to Chicago to join the team. He actually was going to Texas, I believe, to watch his younger sister play in her NCAA tournament game, is what reports ended up coming out to reveal. But I want to apologize for being wrong on Friday. I don't want to apologize for being wrong about picking Alabama to win, because I was just in my gut and wanted to roll the dice right there, and that's okay. But I was super wrong on saying that Aiden Holloway was likely to return to the team and to play that night. Just wanted to be transparent with the audience. We had a conversation, Theo and myself, with someone outside, close to the basketball program, and they kind of indicated to me that they thought Aiden Holloway was going to play as soon as he got clearance from the judge to leave the state. And they it was basically a third-hand conversation from Nate Oates. Not I talking to Nate Oates, but this person talking with Nate Oates. And so this is telephone. You know how telephone gets. Things get distorted in the elementary room, classroom. Well, I am the third person. We are the fourth person, really, because we're the third or fourth person on the telephone train, and we just missed it. We trusted the telephone chain too much, and we just missed it. Actually, Hunter DeCipher was exactly dead on his take for what would happen with Aiden Holloway, that he wouldn't play, and dead on with his score. I think he said 90. I think he said 91-79. Ended up being 90-77. So dead on right there for Hunter DeCipher. Make sure you follow him for your basketball coverage. But I just wanted to lead off and say, whoops, we missed it, Theo.
Yeah, I didn't have the most positive day on X on Friday. I know a bunch of people, called out. Kind of, I guess, just we looked too much into it, and that'll happen. But yeah, that'll do it for the season. Regardless, I don't think Holloway would have made much of a difference, even if he was playing in this game. In hindsight, having watched this Michigan team, and just Alabama had such that long, prolonged stretch to start the second half of not being able to score, right? And you could play the hypothetical of with Holloway or with whatever, or with any given piece. You can even play the game of it with Bediako. Fact of the matter was, this team wasn't winning this game against just this complete, basically super team that Michigan has put together.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan, we were sitting there the whole week talking about their starters and talking about Yaxel, which was the right thing to do. Talking about Yaxel and Mara, Eddie Mara, and Maurice Johnson, Elliot Cadeau, and Burnett. We were pretty much focused on that group of five. But really, we also missed it by not mentioning Roddy Gale Jr. and Trey McKinney the entire week. And those two guys said, oh, you forgot about us. We're going to give you 6 of 9 from the three-point line, and basically combined for 32 points, 33 points, 33 of the 90 points coming right here off the bench. And Alabama just couldn't keep up. I mean, you jumped out to an 11-2 lead. Great. That was really, really exciting, and I thought, oh, okay, things are starting to go right for you. Aiden Sherrill hits a couple of 3-point shots, and I'm like, okay, the floor is spacing a little bit. LeBaron absolutely goes crazy at the end of the first half. 8-0 run in the first half, and you were winning the first media timeout. Yeah, I'm closing my eyes thinking back to it. You're winning the first media timeout. The second media break, Yaxel gets going and scores 5 of his seven of his 7 points right there in a stretch. His 7, I think it was 7 points in the first 12 minutes or so for Yaxel. But he went on a 5-point run and kind of got Michigan back into it. And then from there, it's kind of back and forth. And okay, you're feeling okay. Michigan digs into it to take a lead or to tie the game. And finally, United Center was going crazy. Like, it took a while, but those Michigan fans were down early. And then as Michigan's building up, they were going nuts. LeBaron finished the half on a nice run, and you just could not get out of the second half locker room. Nate Oates all season long talking about, well, we got to start second half better. We can't start second half as poorly. Well, you did start off pretty poorly, and the game was over in the span of about 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I think we all kind of knew right then and there that there would be, sure, you're within 15 points. We knew there was no run coming, right? I think that was kind of that's the sense that everyone I've talked to the game about with has had. I don't think many people expected any kind of comeback.
Right. And you really got pretty bad offense in the second half from Alabama. Just because you were just getting down there chucking up shots, because I don't think you could get the actions that you wanted to with their post play and their switching and their athleticism. You couldn't work the ball into the post, and for the kick out threes, you couldn't get to the rim very effectively with their size, and it just made life tough on you and made life easy on me writing the Instant Gamer, because at halftime I've got one open saying Alabama upsets Michigan, and I'm starting to go away at it. And then in the first 3 minutes of the second half, I said, I think I need to open up a second draft here. Yeah. And I typed Alabama loses to Michigan, comes up short. And the whole second half for me ended up just next paragraph, filling it in as Michigan is beating Alabama. Made it pretty simple to finish that. And obviously the season's over right there. Do you have anything X's and O's wise or analytics for the game before you break down kind of experiences that I had after the game and roster transition and just next steps past the game?
No, we honestly, as far as game preview goes, we basically nailed it with this Michigan game. Like, they didn't do anything we didn't expect, right? They just did what they've done all season to teams, and Alabama was not able to have an answer. And look, there's no shame in that. And I know we're about to go into the post game and talking about these end of season reactions. Michigan is a better team than Alabama. You get to this stage in the tournament, you are going to run into better teams pretty regularly. Look at the last 3 losses to end seasons for Alabama. The best team in the country in UConn. The team that should have been the best in the country in Duke. And now a team that may be the best in this Michigan team. Like, you just run into a team that is an unstoppable, near unstoppable force, and there's no shame in dropping that game.
Yeah, none at all. You got to the Sweet 16, and you were an 8.5-point underdog going into the game, and you were up by 1 point at halftime. I mean, honestly, this is not a look at us. We're better than Tennessee, but you gave Michigan a better game than Tennessee. Congratulations, Tennessee did win on Friday night to get to the Elite Eight. So that's their 3rd straight, and not taking away anything from their program and Rick Barnes, but they played Iowa State and you played Michigan. It's about the difference right there in the weekend with the 2 programs and the circumstances. Then Iowa State's a good team, but they missing a really quality player for Iowa State helped Tennessee win that game. And Tennessee may have won it with the Iowa State player healthy. It's just a different circumstance. But losing to Michigan, there's nothing to hang your head about, and you just outlined the last 3 losses. This is what it might. You've been an underdog seed for the last 4 seasons, except for 4 seasons ago, you were the 1 seed, and you lost to San Diego State in the Sweet 16, and that was just a big old gut punch because I thought you had a really, really quality team right there, and you ended up a bad shooting stretch and bad offense and injuries and a little bit of sickness kind of took you out right there. Ultimately, you shouldn't feel bad about this. We were saying for the last 5 weeks, Sweet 16 is probably the ceiling. Sweet 16 is probably the ceiling. And we were sitting there saying, maybe you can win a Sweet 16 game and get to an Elite Eight if the right night, if you get the right shooting, if you don't get beasted on the boards, if everything falls right for you. Well, everything didn't fall right for you. You didn't keep shooting really, really well. You got beat on the boards, and you're playing virtually a road game, and you crumbled. Yeah, you crumbled in the environment against a really, really quality team, and their 8 was better than your 9, better than your 8 or 9. However many ended up playing for Alabama. You ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, so 9. Their 8 was better than your 9. No shame at all, really, in my opinion. And you got beat by maybe the best player in college basketball. You got to be, regardless, unanimous All-American, Big Ten Player of the Year,
most impactful player.
Sure, right? Matchup nightmare, and so there's no shame at all in losing, and even in losing by 14 points, right? 10, 14, 14 points, 13 points. Bad math. I'm not a math major. No shame at all.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you see some of the stuff that people are saying, like, for example, you guys have seen the videos of the illegal screens and stuff, which, yes, they were egregious. Guess what? Alabama, everyone has a ton of illegal screens in any given game, and no individual one of those were going to change the impact. And even, like, I talked about it earlier with the shooting. I mean, Alabama, I think the number was either 31 or 33% that Alabama players shot, like 33% from the field outside of Lamar and Fallon. Wasn't great. Wouldn't have really mattered. I mean, this Michigan team, they didn't even really have to respond to anything that Alabama did, but you trust that they would have been able to.
Yeah, LeBaron made 10 shots, 10 of your 25, so that's 15. What's 21 from the 69 is
48.
Yeah, 48.
15 of 48. That is 31. Yeah, that's right.
Gross. Not good. not enough help right there and LeBaron. I mean, LeBaron left. If this is LeBaron's last NCAA tournament run, and what 99.9% is, then he left it all out there. He filled it up. He nearly had a 30-point triple double in the first game. He nearly had a triple double in the second game, and then scored 35 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists in the third game of the NCAA tournament. So absolutely crushed it. With his last 3 games in an Alabama uniform. I'm walking away. We drove back from Chicago on Saturday, and I'm walking away from the season thinking pretty good year considering everything that you dealt with. I know there's a big debate on was it Nate Oates' best coaching job. I say no to that. I'm gonna put it probably. He's been here 7 years. I'm probably putting it 3rd or 4th. I mean, you got the Final Four year. Right, you've got the Final Four year, you've got the double SEC championship year, you got, and then probably last year's Elite 8 run as 3, and then this year as 4. That's probably where I'm putting it.
I think this was a better coaching job than last year.
Okay, yeah, well, it's debatable for sure. Go ahead. What, like, how are you walking away from the year? Because I'm thinking, yeah, pretty good season.
I'm thinking this is a year where you were able to bring a lot of pieces together. And you got the most out of a lot of guys, I feel like. I look at now, look, okay, your transfer portal class is a part of your coaching job,
sure,
to be fair. And depending on how much we weigh that would obviously greatly negatively impact how we analyze this year, right? But with the pieces that Nate Oates brought in, right, with when you look at, okay, from the start of the season to the end, to going, well, Theo is not quite what we thought he was going to be for this team. Well, Keaton Bristow is not going to play basketball for this team. And you have the issues with the bigs and the guys who aren't playing, and you do everything. You're bringing in Bediako. You're trying to figure out, well, what can work for us at all? I think you got phenomenal production out of Amari Allen. You turn this guy into somebody who, it's little, what did he have? 5 points in this game against Michigan. And overall, kind of underwhelming down the stretch. But what he was doing,
4.6 rebounds, 3 assists.
So, yeah, not the end of the season he wants, which I still think it will be the end of his Alabama career. But I just think you got a lot out of a lot of guys. And you brought players together. And you were able to create a team that, at its peak, looked as explosive as Alabama gets, right? This was a Nate Oates basketball team. And there was a point in the season where it didn't look like it quite would be.
Yeah, no, it was a good year, and you got a lot out of it. There was a lot of positives. So I don't think it was his best coaching job. I put it 3rd or 4th. And I do think you could debate where it is, but I think it's in the better end of his coaching jobs. I think he coached his tail off this year, considering all the things that Theo just outlined that you were dealing with, and hurdles and availability and inconsistency factor. You ended in the Sweet 16. You ran into a buzzsaw of a team who is still playing and probably has a really good shot of playing on next Monday night in the championship. Just one thing for one post-game reaction that really hurt me, or you caught my attention. You go into the locker room, they bring LeBaron, Houston, and Latrell to the main podium. So we're not talking to those guys. So I end up going straight to Amari Allen because I was really trying to write. I was really trying to look for a post-game angle. I had the Instant Gamer, and I was like, all right, what's my post-game angle? I don't know. Well, who's the most interesting player to talk to out of this group yet right here? Amari Allen, because he guarded Yaxel Lindenborg. And so I go into the locker room, and, the standard question right after the game, what'd you think about the game? And he just – I thought we had a chance to win. Thought we didn't play as good as we could have. I asked what changed in the second half. Oh, we don't know. They got more offensive rebounds. Oh, size. So I asked him about guarding Yaxel, and oh my gosh, nearly broke my heart because he ends up going on a tangent about I lost this game. I had one job to come in and stop the Axel. I lost this game. His quote was, "I was supposed to watch a bunch of film and get in there and stop him, and I just couldn't. I tried. I couldn't. It's not. I promise this will never happen to me again. This will never happen. When I come back next year, yeah, he was all in on the moment. He was feeling his feelings. So like I was trying to let him feel it and talk about it. But he essentially was saying, I lost us the game. I should have played better. I owe these seniors. I let these seniors down. We're not moving on because of me. And I didn't know what to do other than continue to ask him questions, because I just thought to myself, man, I want to be a human here and give you a hug, man. I want to be a human here and tell you it wasn't your fault, but I'm at work and trying to, if I not be the story. And so just try, oh yeah, why do you feel that way? Oh yeah, just trying to like be as robotic as possible. But he was really hurting on my heartstrings because he just could not be moved from the fact, oh, I lost this game. It's my fault. I should have guarded Yaxel better. I should have prepared harder. I should have done X and Y, Z. And like really moved me. That video is on the BamaCentral YouTube channel if you want to see that. But then I walked out of the locker room and I started reading transcripts from what had happened on the post-game dais. And dadgummit, Yaxel, what a turd you are. What a turd you are. Oh, yeah, I felt pretty disrespected that they put a freshman on me. I felt pretty disrespected. So when I hit that step back and like, yeah, you got Amari on that play. You got him. Good job. Great play. Awesome. You're the man. And you were an unstoppable force on Friday night. But what an absolute turd you are. Because to the victors goes the spoils, right? You won. You get to say what you want to. You get to write what you want to. The victor writes the record book. But let's not act like Alabama didn't have like any other option right there. And let's not act like, oh, when you were a freshman in college in JUCO, Amari Allen was an 8th dadgum grade. Like, understand this. Like, I'm sure, Yaxel, you prepared for this game. I'm positive that Dusty May gave you a scouting report, and he's like, all right, these handful of guys might guard you. And I'm sure Dusty May, great coach, is like, I'm betting this guy is going to guard you, just looking at their roster, and pointed Amari Allen on their little pregame scout sheet over as the week progressed. They watched some film. They said, not Bobo, and Bobo is not going to be your matchup. Maybe London Jemison, a little bit of London Jemison. Y'all are kind of, it'll be either London Jemison or Amari Allen. And your first thought was, oh, a freshman. Alabama didn't have any other options. There's no, like, Amari's sitting there crying in the locker room because they lost. And it's like, Amari, you were the only option here, sir. You were the only option to do it, and don't take it so bad. You were asked to do something that was, quite frankly, above your level, and you tried. You clearly took it hard. You clearly cared, but it was not fair for Nate Oates to ask you to deal with the Axel Lindenberg problem. And so, like, that's not criticism of Nate Oates, but it's just objectively not fair. It's just what he had to do. Like, that was the assignment. There was no other person that could even remotely close to fit into that assignment. It was Amari Allen and maybe London Jemison and maybe Taylor Bowen. Everybody else was really, really bad matchup. But Amari gives us a fighting chance. And so Axel, to absolutely trash him in the postgame, felt Alabama was not disrespecting you by putting Amari Allen on you. Alabama had no options here and made the best out of bad options. You got yourself 12 first half points and 12 second half points. You were incredible. You made four 3-pointers. You got every shot you ever wanted because Alabama just did not have an athletic freak enough to match you. And like, Axel, look at your draft class, buddy. Your draft class is all in the NBA. Your college recruiting class. Like, you're maximizing your value. You're maximizing the system. Nothing wrong with that. But like, for you to be such a turd has turned him into such an unlikable player for me. Oh, Alabama didn't recruit me. Get out of here. Alabama picked up the phone call, and the agent said a number that Alabama couldn't match, and they said, good luck, have a great career. Like, it was not a disrespect deal, Yaxel. You were really good. It was a bad matchup. You won the matchup. Alabama did try to recruit you, but you were too valuable for Alabama. That's all understood. These made up narratives, these disrespect narratives are unnecessary. You are much better than that skill wise. And I think you rubbed salt in the wound. Walt rubbed salt in a wound of a freshman that really gave his all and was thrust into a bad matchup.
Michigan basketball reporters have to have such an easy job, right? Assuming Yaxel's just giving them awesome quotes all year, right? I mean, that has to be really easy to cover. Now, Amari Allen was always going to be the guy to cover Yaxel. Like you said, there was no other option. Like London Jemison, that would not have ended. That would have ended worse, right? Bull Bowen. Inconsistency is just, you don't know what's going to happen.
I can see Yaxel just bumping Bobo and all the way to the post and dunking over his face.
I will say, like, Amari Allen has continued to impress me through this freshman wall that he's kind of hit right late in the season. And it's funny, it happens really right as Hunter Cyber publishes this massive piece. I've always been underrated, and people are talking about Amari, and then the results kind of stopped coming in. And he had a nice stretch in the second half against Hofstra. He had a nice showing against Texas Tech. But far and away, just wasn't playing at the level that he had started to play at. Really, through the end of February, right? I think that Tennessee game was the first one where he kind of underperformed. And then, so through February, this was I heard the word big three thrown around with Amari Allen included in it. Don't forget just how great this guy was playing. There's a reason I was talking about him as the lottery pick. There's a reason that Joe foolishly compared him to Grant Hill. But there was some level of merit to that regardless. And the way that the results stopped coming in. The mentality didn't change. The approach to the game didn't change. I thought he showed a lot of maturity for a freshman down the stretch. And obviously the heartbreak at the end, and we don't know what the rest of his career will look like. We don't know what his next move is going to be, but he honestly, my view of him really didn't diminish much at all during this little slump.
No, I still view him as a really quality player, and I agree with you that it was mostly a freshman slump. Now, to get into keep us moving forward here, because we don't want to keep just hammering Yaxel in this topic. The actual other major red alert comments from Amari Allen after the one game was, I want to come back. I want to come back. And next year, I'm not going to let this happen to us. I'm not going to be the reason we lost because my assignment went off. And so I immediately latched on him. Coming back. You thinking about coming back? And he went right into, well, I'd like to, but I got to talk to my agent. I don't know. We got to figure it out mode. But his first, what his heart was saying right there in the moment was coming back. Now, obviously, that's going to get updated with information of dollar signs and value and opportunity with the NBA. But right after the game, and so you got to take it with a grain of salt. Right after the game, in the pain of loss, he was, I want to come back. I want to come back to this team. I want to play a sophomore year. I liked college basketball. These guys, you talked about these guys. Even Jaleel said it. Jaleel Bethea said, this is the best group of guys I have ever played with. Really interesting comments from Amari. Let's start talking about the roster as itself. Who do you think is coming back? Do you think Amari will end up, doing the LeBaron Phylon? We'll just work our way through the players, and we'll just let us just dissect who we think is coming back, who we think is portaling, and obviously LeBaron going to the NBA draft.
Well, Amari is certainly the biggest. I would say the biggest question mark outside of Aiden Holloway, because Aiden Holloway is just a completely different situation, right? And I don't even think that's worth getting into all that much. We've seen what happens when you try to make assumptions about this situation.
Hey, you're learning fast lessons.
But you look at Amari. I, first of all, think unequivocally that he will be an All-American level player if he returns to college basketball next year. I do not think he will return to college basketball next year. In Hunter DeSiver's piece on him, which I'm going to reference again, he said that he'd always dreamed of being a one-and-done player. It's a bit of an interesting quote there, and he will have the opportunity to go into the draft. I believe he has given more than enough tape for scouts to fall in love with him. I think that he will be in a slightly better position than LeBaron was in a year ago. And I look at Amari and you don't have necessarily the love of Alabama, right? The university, the program that LeBaron had growing up in Mobile. I think that he likes this group of guys. I think he likes playing with Nate Oates well. Half the team is going to be moving on, right? LeBaron's gone. The seniors are gone. You know, these guys who held the team together. There's no more Houston Millette or Latrell Wrightson. There are all these other guys that they can say positive things about Alabama, but you know that so many of them will be entering the portal. Moving beyond that, in a world where you do come back, you're also going to be fielding some 7-figure offers from other schools that who knows if Alabama can match. Like, what happens when this kid from Wisconsin is offered a massive deal to come play in a high-powered, fast-paced offense in his home state, go play for the Badgers, right? That's just a pure hypothetical I'm throwing out there.
Badger.
Like, I do not think Amari will be back in college. I think if he comes back to college, you're fighting off a lot of schools, and you may not even have the money to hang on to him, especially when Aiden Sherrell's going to be fielding offers too, and all these other guys, and you've got these recruits coming in. But I think it will end up being, okay, Amari goes and scouts analyze him and they really take an even deeper dive and they see all the tape he put out in the beginning of the year and he sees, you know, the player that drew Grant Hill comparisons. And I do not think Amari Allen will go in the second round of the draft. I think he'll be a first rounder. I think he has a shot to go in the teens. And I think Amari will pounce on that opportunity.
Yeah, that information is going to be really, really important for Amari Allen. You talked about this freshman wall, this slump. The last 7 games of the year is bad, bro. The last 7 games of the year, he scored 53 points. He averaged 7.3 points per game. He averaged 7 points. He averaged 5 rebounds. And let's see, where's my assist? 5 rebounds and 2.3 assists. He shot 2 of 25 from beyond the arc in those last 7 games. That's the number that really, really stood out to me. 2 of 25. So not good shooting. I think that the effort was still there. I think the legs and the energy level was just diminished a little bit. I agree with you that he's going to get too much information, and it's going to be pretty obvious that his move is going to be to remain in the NBA draft. So I think that he's going to be gone. LeBaron gone. Jaleel portaling out. I would love to have Jaleel back, but I think that situation is probably just he's probably going to off to have a fresh start. I think Aiden Holloway returns and deals with the off-court issues. I think he returns. Latrell obviously graduating out. Davion Hannah, I'm just taking these down. I think these are number by number. Yeah. By jersey number. Davion Hannah is a player who I think has a good chance of returning. I think that you have a good chance of return. I wouldn't be surprised if he portals out, but I think that there's a pretty decent chance that he does return. He takes this medical red shirt from this season and returns and has a good, red shirt freshman year for Alabama. I think he's just too raw this year, and some medical issues kind of caught up to him. I think that if you had to pin me down, I'm going to put me as Davion Hannah returns. Okay. Amari Allen, NBA draft. We just talked about that. I think is probably I think that the chance of Amari returning to Alabama are at 20%. I think the chance of him going to the NBA draft are at about 55%, and then what's that math? 75. The other
25.
25% are other programs offering him a lot of money. So we'll see how he deals with that. London Jemison, I think, returns. Taylor Bowen, I actually think returns as well. I think Keaton Bristow gone. He's gone to the portal. Preston Murphy Jr. returns. Charles Bediako is on this list. He is out of eligibility now, so he's gone. As is Noah Williams in 14 and 15. Aiden Sherrill, you're gonna have to fight for him to keep him here, because I think there's going to be a lot of offers for him. I think that his freshman to sophomore year jump was pretty evident, and I think that people are assuming he's going to take a sophomore to junior year jump. I think that he's going to be hard to keep, but I would bet that is where all the priorities start for Alabama and NATO. It's to make sure that Aiden Sherrill returns for his junior year. Collins Onyejiaka, I think portal's out. I think he was an intriguing prospect and probably one of my favorite freshmen in this class. But just medical issue, never got on the floor, and I believe that he is going to portal out and probably go somewhere smaller school closer to home is probably my guess. And then obviously Houston is out of eligibility. Anybody you disagree with before I play these voicemails?
Yeah, just are the voicemails about these decisions, or
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have a voicemail from Dax and I have a voicemail from Hunter. I think they're both on basketball in general, but I have no idea what the specifics are.
Okay, so I'll stay with this for a minute. And I think that your top priority is 1,000,000% Sherrill.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I don't think Amari would be coming back, even if he decided to go to college. I'd give Sherrill a blank check, relatively. Like
$50 million.
You just don't get outbid for this guy.
Right.
There are going to be, I've heard rumors. I don't know how much truth there is to him of $2 million offers being thrown this guy's way.
Yeah.
You don't lose this guy. You do not allow this guy to become a superstar player at another program.
You spent 2 years developing
yes.
him. Reap the benefits.
And this is a lot of talk about contracts, right? With NIL. Like I don't anticipate Aiden Sherrill being anything less than a 4-year player, right? He should be a 4-year player. Keep him for all 4 years. You're probably going to have one of the best centers, one of the best bigs in the SEC over the next 2 years in this guy. I'm keeping him. He is my number one, top of the list, top priority. And my second, and it's a pretty close second, is London Jemison. I've talked on this show about how I think Jemison has the potential to be one of the top three leading scorers on the team next year. I think he's just such a pure offensive player and the potential to take the jump. And even, hey, we made the jokes of, this guy always ends possessions. Yes, he's even started passing a lot more down the stretch, right? He's already starting to play a brand of basketball where his offensive prowess, ability to score, is forcing teams to adjust the defense and allowing him to get the ball out. He is just yes, Keith Connell comment, London will be a star next year, barring a sophomore slump. Yes, he should be a star next year. He is my number 2 player on this list where you keep him. Outside of that, I really agree on just about everything. With the possible exception of Bull Bowen, I think you'd like to keep him. But I also think that if there is another big somewhere that you have reason to believe will translate to your program that did not play in the Patriot League a year ago, I think you're okay with allowing Bull Bowen to go somewhere else. Because I think that, I don't know, I could just see a world where he doesn't really take another jump next year.
No, I think he is about what he is, but I'm not. You don't not take another big. You don't not take another skilled player because you have him. I think he just becomes a rotational piece for the team.
But is Bull Bowen
he needs to get stronger?
Yeah, but I don't think Bull Bowen is going to make a decision for anticipating a rotational role.
You're probably right. Unfortunately,
that's why.
And if he wants to be a starter and he wants to be the man, you say have fun at school XYZ.
Well, okay, so yeah, this is, I guess, the first place we disagree on a little bit because I think a Taylor Bowen return would signal Alabama viewing him as, yeah, you're starting at the 4 next year.
Probably, unfortunately.
I would much rather, like, I think you've got these recruits coming in. I like London Jemison starting on this team at the 3 or the 4, and I am more than okay with Bowen out of here. I think you find a Keaton Bristow type player in the portal, right? Another,
maybe somebody a little healthier.
Well, yeah, like you had the right idea out of all your portal misses. You had the right idea on Keaton Bristow.
True.
You probably had yourself a pretty impactful player. And I don't know. I'm not going to go pure speculation on what happened behind the scenes because we still really.
No, I think he. I think I have a pretty good idea of what happened at this point, and all the people saying he quit on the team. I think don't have a pretty good idea of what happened. I think that he came to the team already a little banged up, tried to get himself to a percentage of, I can play through it at this percentage. Never really could. And it took a long time. Like people saw, like we all saw him in some of these practice videos, and it's like, well, of course he can do a little jogging, but can he play a game? Is a little different. Can he play completely uninhibited? No, it was a little different. He can do a little jogging, he can do a little shooting, but like so can I. Can I play in a college game right now? I'll get hurt. My Achilles will bust. And so I think that's kind of where he was, and it took him to a long time. I think he only really got cleared to return in the last maybe 2 weeks, which what's the point at that point?
Yeah.
I don't really think that he's in any sort of game shape to make any difference in Friday night's game.
No. And then just closing out, or two notes.
Go on. Keep going.
Aiden Holloway, the situation, if he does return, he's probably returning at a much lower price tag.
Yeah.
So, I mean, silver linings, right?
Yeah, the situation probably hurt his overall NIL value. I don't know if a pay cut is in order, but I do think that it probably limited his outside market that would have thus made Alabama re-raise their price for him.
There's a big silver lining. And the other one, I would probably lean no on Davion. Again, like him and Collins are really just pure speculation. You know, it's
right.
Bits and pieces that we've heard. I've got class with Davion this afternoon. But we've talked about the team every once in a while, you know, but you don't get anything of substance. Maybe I'll get something from him.
Ask him if he wants to come on the Joe Gaither show.
I'll see.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. We'd have a lot of fun with him.
Maybe he can announce his portal decision.
Oh, I'm staying. I'm not bleeping leaving. I'm coming back.
There we go.
All right, let's go to the voicemail line, 205-462-7340, extension 800. We'll take these voicemails, Theo. We will react to them, and then we will turn them up Purple Turtle Roofing and get a weekend report on the baseball program.
So we couldn't take down the big dog in Michigan. I'm proud of the boys' season. It turned out to be a pretty good one because we made the Sweet 16. But I really hated this game for multiple reasons. Number one, Pat Adams and his ref crew. Why has he not been fired into the sun yet? I saw, like, with my eye, like 4 illegal screens by Michigan. I granted, we were probably doing it too, but I have crimson-colored glasses, so we played perfect and didn't commit any fouls. Dude, they missed so many freaking calls on both sides. It was ridiculous. That ball was out of bounds on Michigan. There's no doubt in that one. And then on that one the most egregious moving screen, Amari Allen pretty much just got, like, bodied by an offensive lineman is what it looked like. That was good form by that guy trying to block Amari, but, like, holy crap, he was trying to tackle him. And there are some Alabama fans pooping on Amari Allen's performance, but where'd he go with the bit? Dude, Amari Allen was he's a freshman, first of all. He is a freshman. And he was having to guard one of the best players in college football in Yaxel. I don't even want to say his last name because that boy showed his true colors in the after-game press conference. He said, I ain't made nobody fall since middle school. You didn't make Amari fall. You literally pushed him. Amari got bodied again on another screen that he didn't see coming. And then Yaxel shoves him to the ground with his arm and hits a three, and Yaxel wants to get all, I'm better than you. I'm 6 years older than you and better. Because I'm a grown man playing a kid's sport. Not a kid's sport, but a grown man. This man is a grown man, and he might be the most immature grown man I've ever seen. I am so glad he was not on our team, because we had the tightest bunch of boys ever. Houston Millette, Latrell Wrightsell, Noah Williamson, anybody else that's leaving after this season, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, especially Millette. Millette is a dog, and we need to hire him as a graduate assistant immediately. But aside from all that, super proud. I hate Pat Adams. I don't like Yaxel. I'm going to cheer against him in every NBA game he plays in. Super immature for a 30-year-old. It's crazy. But we'll come back stronger next year. These freshmen we got coming in are going to make us really good. I can't wait. And we need a big to go with Aiden Sherrill. Aiden Sherrill needs some conditioning, because Aiden Sherrill can be great. He was on the verge of great this year. He just really got to fit in his own body and actually be able to play 30 minutes and not gas out, which is super hard to do at his size, playing as hard as he does. But it's baseball season. I'm definitely going to catch a baseball game this year for sure. I don't know how we started off so bad, but we are rocking and rolling now. Tyler Fay is amazing, and Justin LeBron's going to keep hitting homers. It's going to be a good baseball season. Run rule to Auburn, that was great. Hopefully we can keep it going. But yeah, that's pretty much my feelings about this weekend. See y'all boys later. Roll Tide.
No Tide. Next on the voicemail line.
2 real quick notes
Go for
there.
it.
First of all, like, we can talk all the stuff about Yaxel. He's the kind of guy everyone would love if he was playing.
Oh,
for your team.
yeah.
Like, don't get it twisted there.
Yeah, for sure. Keep
Like,
going.
everyone on the team would love it. Second, I keep hearing people say, the Houston Millette, bring him in right away. Let the guy play basketball, man. This is a pro basketball player. You don't think Houston Millette is going to have the time of his life spending 10 years in Europe, like living in, I don't know, Barcelona or Athens or something? Like, just go.
These experiences he's about to have for the next 5 to 7 years will shape the way he coaches players in Tuscaloosa.
Yes. Also, Europe doesn't know it's about to hit him, man.
95.
You know, you talk about someone who's already, as you know, he's like the fans with how passionate they are.
95. They're all going to be jerseys everywhere.
Houston Millette might get a statue in some European town. Man, they're going to love him. Like, let the man go play some basketball, and then he will come over. You know, I spoke with his father, Wes, who was talking about Houston and just the approach he takes to the game. You're talking about a guy in Millette who goes everywhere with a notebook and writes everything down and studies every single thing that he does, and just a student of the game, a student of life. And the quote that Wes left me with that stuck with me: Houston's going to have a very good professional basketball career. He is going to have an incredible coaching career. Like, yes, this guy is going to be a coach one day. He's wanted to be a coach his whole life. He's going to be great at it. That's down the line, man. Let him play some basketball.
We'll see what happens with Houston Millette, but we'll keep going on the voicemail line. Appreciate you call Dax and your baseball comments that you had right there at the end. Theo is going to expound on some baseball here in just a minute, but we got one more voicemail. 205-462-7340, extension 800.
What a weekend. What a weekend indeed. Let's start off with basketball, shall we? Not going to lie, not surprised by that outcome. Honestly, I thought it would be worse than just a 13-point loss. I expected 15 plus. But I was proud of our guys for hanging in there for the first half. I knew that in the second half that we'd get worn down over time a little bit. I figured that their bigs would exploit us, and exactly what they did for the most part. When the board took over the game. And past Sherrill, we don't really have that much front court depth at all at the big position. We really don't. And I thought Sherrill gave it his all for what it was worth. I thought they tired him out through the end of the game. I thought Amari Allen was supposed to be the X factor and had to have a big game in order for us to win, and that just didn't happen at all. I thought he was at best average. I know he's better than what he was capable of on Friday night. But all in all, it was a good season. Lesson learned. Don't go 0 for 4 in the portal. when you're getting portal guys, Bull Bowen, Bristow, Williamson, and Theo were all busts. And you just can't have that in today's day and age of college athletics. You got to have guys come in from the transfer portal that are going to be impact caliber players, and all four of them just weren't that. There were times where they were good. There were times where they were bad. 4 times when they were bad and they were good. Of course, I thought Theo was going to be the best out of the bunch, and he was the furthest thing from that. I thought Bull Bowen was going to be solid. He was not, and honestly, I was just happy if Noah Williamson made a freaking layup. I'm going to be honest with you, but hey, it was a successful year. Sweet 16 is nothing to scoff at, especially when, like I said, you go 0 for 4 in the portal. Your second best scorer, second leading scorer, best shooter on the team gets caught with weed and gets suspended for the postseason, the NCAA tournament. But, like I said, successful season all around, and I'm excited for next year. I saw Richardson balled out today in the scrimmage for the McDonald's All-American game, so I'm excited for him to be on campus and see what he's capable of. Baseball's killing it. Love what Rob Bond's done with this team. They bounced back after getting swept against Kentucky. Really like where that program's at. Bryce M.F. Fowler, baby. Bryce Fowler. Talk to him, baby. Best center fielder in the game. Don't at me right there. Don't at me. Love where this team's at, man. Can we keep this momentum going? Can we sustain this hot streak that we're on? That's the question. We've done this before with Rob. We've had series where we've come out, played lights out. What do you do after that? Can you sustain it? And that's what he talked about after the game. It's one thing to beat a really good team in Auburn, one thing to beat a really good team in Florida. You've won 7 in a row. How do you handle success? Are you mature enough to go on the road against a really good Oklahoma team? You don't have to sweep them, but at least play competitive baseball. I thought against Kentucky we weren't competitive at all. I get it. It was 40 degrees outside, which is not accustomed to what we're playing in right now in the month of March and soon to be April. But just come out there and act like you care. You know what I'm saying? Be competitive, play with resilience, play your heart out, take quality at-bats, fill up the strike zone, make quality pitches, and play team-oriented baseball. Like, you're more than capable of doing that. I'm not saying you got to kill them 10-0, so on and so forth, but just look like a competitive baseball team. That's really what I'm hoping to see this upcoming weekend in Norman. Of course, you want to win every game you play. And let's go out and see if we can get a series win against these guys. I know they're kind of struggling a little bit. I know they're reeling somewhat, so maybe we're catching them at the right time as well. So, pretty good week all around. I know this went long, but, hey, I'm excited where this baseball program's at, and I'll talk to you boys later.
Hey, Hunter Brantley on the voicemail machine as well. Real quick, Theo, was it really 0 for 4 in the portal? Because, all right, Bristow, yes, is a miss because of the injuries and what availability. Yeah, miss. Jaleel Bethea, big miss, mostly injuries, and then just not a polished player. Williamson, I mean, what were you really expecting from the Bucknell, from the Patriot League Player of the Year? Were we really expecting much more than what we got?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, we were.
In some instances, yeah. But we were just begging. I was just begging for any similar catch the dang ball. Just catch the ball off the glass. Just rebound the ball.
We moved the goalpost really fast on Williamson.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I like that about the fan base as far as, from a supporting him standpoint. But now that it's like, don't get it twisted. You were expecting real production out of this guy.
That's
like
true.
NATO, you did not bring this guy in to be a bench warmer. I can pull out numerous posts from just about everyone, from analysts to writers to fans, talking about, wow, look at what this guy did last season. Look at his numbers. Look at these highlights.
And then he got treated like a special needs player.
Yes.
Like a charity case.
Don't get it twisted. When he came to this program, we were expecting real production. It is a complete and utter miss.
But Bull Bowen gave you some things as well. Gave you something.
I think if Bull Bowen did what he did, had this season, and the other guys weren't complete misses, you would be able to chalk it up to, you would be able to view it as it wasn't a hit or a miss. Because no one did anything, and Bull Bowen gave you basketball at best, it's a miss as well.
Bull Bowen gave you 6.3, 4 points, 4.2 rebounds, and half an assist per game.
You can get if you really wanted to stretch it, you can say, yeah, this was a neutral addition. You're 0-3-1 at best. I would just go 0-4.
Oh, terrible. Pain. All right, so let's get into baseball here. Before we do that, we want to remind everybody about Purple Turtle Roofing. You can visit them online at roofturtle.com today for all of your roofing needs. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, insurance claims support, and more. You can visit them online at roofturtle.com or call them today at 877-787-6635 for your free roof inspection. Purple Turtle Roofing can give you the peace of mind that you deserve in your home. So check them out online today at roofturtle.com. Roofing with heart, built to last.
Stay off the weed. Stay off the weed.
And Alabama baseball was back in action. How many is this now? Seven in a row?
6 in SEC play.
They were dead. They were gone.
It's the first
They're buried.
6-game winning streak in conference play since 2002.
Wow. And this is right after the dirt had been packed in the Alabama graves. Alabama smokes Auburn 3 games in a row. Theo was there. What the heck's gone into this team? Two big series victories, 2 big series sweeps at home. Is it just Sewell Thomas magic? Are they going to get rocked this week when they go to Oklahoma? When they leave the friendly confines? What happened this weekend? Where are you at with the baseball team? Give us a Crimson Tide Diamond report.
Everyone's takeaway should be that it's been a season of overreactions. And baseball, look, it's a hard sport for me to cover, and I'm putting out narratives and I'm putting out things that I know people will react to, when at the end of the day, baseball is always a sport that has a lot of randomness, right? And has a long season that, generally speaking, averages out most of the flukes that happen, right? You go out, get swept, and everyone's looking, oh, you're in last place. Yeah, follow that up with one of the worst performances I've seen this team ever play against South Alabama, where you go out and you commit, I think it was 5. Yeah, it was 5 errors on the day, lose to that team in the midweek, and the sky is falling. Everything's crumbling. I'm hearing people talk about, oh, you got to fire Rob Vaughn. He's not going to survive the season. This team's not going to play in a regional. It was all overreaction, just like people are overreacting on the other end of the spectrum right now.
They're heroes.
Yeah, like you win 6 in a row, and that is incredible.
Invincible.
Let's view this team as what it is, which is a good baseball team, which is a team that is in line to host a regional, which is a team that really
unbeatable
has a shot to go back to Omaha for the first time since the 20th century. That's everything that I said about this team coming into the season. We are where we started. The starting point was, this is a good team with talent, with leadership, with a coach who can take them to the next level, with starting pitchers who can take a jump forward, with a bullpen that is unproven but has the ability to step up in big moments. Nothing has changed. And that is a good thing for this team. We are where we started. We started in a good place. Just enjoy this season, because it has been a fun one. It is going to continue to be a fun one. There's going to continue to be adversity. I mean, this team has been
They're never going to lose again.
This team has been so injured. You look, I mean, you're not getting Coleman Mizell at all this year. The guy started most of your games last year at DH. You're not getting Logan Davenport at all. You thought he was going to be an impactful player. We're finally about to see Sam Christensen play some baseball. You thought he would start in the outfield for you this season. Now it's almost like anything you get out of him is just house money, right? You're happy with whatever he gives you. And then Caden Humphrey, who is going to be the guy, the closer for this team, is done. Torn UCL, Tommy John surgery. You have a bullpen that stepped up. You have a starting rotation that what Tyler Fay is doing right now is outrageous. How is this guy a walk-on? He goes out, he throws a no-hitter against Florida, comes out in a game where Rob Vaughn said, yes, we're going to limit his pitch count a little because the dude just threw 132 pitches. We don't know how his arm's still intact, and he still gives you, I forget what the final number was. It was mid-80s, goes 5 innings, gives up just 1 run. Gives up just 1 hit. The run came in on a passed ball. Tyler Fay is an outrageous pitcher. He is a guy who can go toe-to-toe with any Friday night ace in the conference, any Friday night ace in the country. Zane Adams strings together a great 6.1 inning performance, giving up 1 run as well. Miles Upchurch, the freshman, who ran off the diamond after recording just 1 out against Florida a week ago, gives you 4.1 innings, allows 1 hit. Yes, you have a lot of free passes. I think you hit 3 batters, gave up 4 walks. You only allowed 1 run. And then when he put 2 runners on in the 5th, you were able to go to the bullpen, who gave you near perfect baseball. Auburn scored, jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the top of the 1st of all 3 games. Joe, they scored 1 run over the other 23 innings of baseball that series.
Dang.
It is a performance that, quite frankly, I didn't even know this bullpen was capable of. And I've been kind of high on a bullpen that struggled this year. That was an outrageous performance from all these guys, from Matty Heiberger, giving you 2 innings on Friday and then coming back and giving you another on Sunday. From Hagen Banks, securing the save on Saturday, and then also coming out on Sunday and just a 1-2-3 inning to put him down to secure the sweep. Sam Mitchell coming out, giving you a good inning on Friday. Just everybody who set for Ashton Crowther was phenomenal. Everybody who took the mound did what needed to be done. Bobby Alcock, a guy who has struggled at times this year, his stuff is just so much better than where it was a year ago. And then you go back to the lineup. Just guys, it's a different guy every day. It is, yes, Justin LeBron. Like, LeBron's numbers are much lower than they were a year ago, but it feels like a more productive season. Because when it matters, when, okay, we're down 1-0, LeBron's the one who delivers the game-tying hit in the 3rd RBI single. LeBron's the guy who he gets on to a fielder's choice in the 8th. He steals 2nd. He's 23 of 23 on the base paths. No other power conference player has stolen more than 13 bases this year without being caught at least once. LeBron is doing video game stuff, and LeBron scores on a passed ball. And then you have in the 8th, you want some breathing room. You want Hagen Banks to take the mound with a little bit of space to operate. Well, how about Captain Will Platner, a guy who was out of the lineup for about 2 weeks, giving you his first hit of the series to give the team a 2-run lead, driving in another run. How about Luke Vaughn, guy who switched positions from catcher to first base, who comes in and drives in 3 runs in the first game of the series, batting out of the 8 hole. Brennan Holt, he's frankly one of the best lineup flippers you are going to see in this conference this year. What he does batting in the 9 hole, outrageous. I've lost track of his on base. I know it's around 450 this year. He's doing outrageous stuff. Gets the massive leadoff double in the 9th on Saturday, allowing Bryce Fowler to walk it off 1 pitch later. This team is tough. This team is scrappy. This team is confident. This team knows how good it is, and it is unfazed. All the noise around it entering the Florida series 2 weeks ago didn't affect it. Just like all the praise that is coming in right now won't affect the team. It will continue to operate as it is. It will lose some games. It'll face more adversity, but it overcomes everything. This has the makings of a special season in Tuscaloosa.
So if you jumped off the boat, it's time to get back on it ASAP because it's already leaving the docks.
It's time to get on the boat, and it's time to just stay on it no matter what. You'll think it's sinking.
Rob Vaughn will patch it up.
Tide.
Yeah, he'll patch it up.
That's how baseball works, man. High tide, low tide, up, down, up, down.
High tide.
Oklahoma
Low
coming off, just got swept by a very good Texas team. They are a good baseball team. Just like Arkansas, who lost their series as well. They got swept by Florida. And Arkansas was a top 5 team a week ago. They get swept by Florida. Who knows what they'll look like this coming weekend. You're going to host them in Tuscaloosa. And who knows how that series is going to go, right? Like you have 7 SEC series remaining. Outside of the South Carolina series, you could lose any of those 6, and it really wouldn't matter because you could lose to or beat any of those teams on any given day.
Well, we will see how the season progresses. Alabama will be back in action tomorrow against Jacksonville State up in Jacksonville, Alabama, before heading out to Norman to take on the Oklahoma Sooners this coming weekend for a weekend series. And Theo Fernandez will have you covered at Theo Fernandez, _ on the Twitter machine, and writing all the articles at BamaCentral.com. That's going to do it for the program today, Theo, unless you got anything else you want to get off your chest.
That's all I have.
That's all we got. So we're headed over to the Mount Moore Athletic Facility to hear from some Alabama football players. That'll be on the Bama Central YouTube channel here pretty shortly. And we will be back to talk about it and a whole lot more spring football. Holy smoke, spring football tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com.